Hi guys over on Periscope. How are you? Just give Facebook Live a few minutes to catch up. Good morning from Cleveland. Where else are you guys streaming in over on Periscope? How old am I? I'm 37. Good morning. Yeah, thanks, Steph. I'm excited for the skin talk next week. I'll talk about that in just a moment. Hi, Kaylee. How you doing, babe? Nice to see you over on Facebook. Hi, Anna. Hello, Maple Ridge. We've got Periscope up and going. I was just waiting for Facebook Live to start popping up. And then all of a sudden, now here we are with 60 viewers live. Okay, I think we're good to go. Welcome to Whole Fit Talks, the weekly broadcast that we do every Wednesday, most Wednesdays at 12 o'clock Eastern, streaming on the Whole Fit Facebook page. Good morning. So fun to be on with you guys that are joining live. Hi, Elaine from California. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Sandra. Awesome. Say hello to each other. Tag a friend that you know would love to listen to the topic we're going to be talking about today on the broadcast, which is asking for help, putting up that help wanted sign in our life to really accomplish our purpose. I am so excited to bring this topic to you guys because it is one of the things I am most known to talk about when it comes to business and leadership. And I have some really great content for you. So grab a notepad, okay? This is going to be an episode that you will likely want to listen to a few times this week because as with anything that we're needing guidance in, there's always one nugget we can take away from a particular topic that we know was for us, that we know that we need to personally be taking action on, right? So I want you to wait for that, to look out for that in the broadcast today. This is, a lot of you are commenting. The topic of asking for help when it comes to, especially for those of you who are running your own business, it is crucial and it is actually a key indicator of a strong leader. Okay, so I just have a really great way of presenting this information for you today. I'm going to go through a couple of different parts, but before we do that, I just wanted to share just a couple of things with you. How many of you have an interest in glowing, healthy skin? Throw it up into the comments. I'm just curious. This is a topic that I personally really love, in addition to the one I'm talking about today. How to not trade in your beauty card when you're starting to live a more natural life. It's probably one of the things that holds people back from starting to explore natural products because they may have an assumption that that will mean they have to, not have as great of a result maybe as they're having with some of those chemically filled products they're using. So I wanted to share with you that next week, I'm actually recording, I'm doing a webinar with doTERRA all about this topic. So if you didn't know this, every single month, doTERRA does this free, value-packed webinar series. It's called The Empowered Life. So you can go over to doTERRA.com and search Empowered Life, and you will actually find an entire library of topics, how to live a healthy, empowered, natural, or as we like to call it in our team, supernatural lifestyle. And the topic for this month is all about skin health. So my particular focus in the 20-minute webinar that I'm doing is to teach you what the key life force, plant wisdom, doTERRA products and essential oils are to have glowing, healthy skin. And I'm also going to talk about how to encourage that through 3 things that create inside out glowing health, okay? So it's a really great topic, and one I know a lot of the women, especially in this community, love to talk about. And one thing you should know about doTERRA's products, it was something I was thinking about as I was preparing for that webinar, is even if you are purchasing a product elsewhere, let's say you go to Whole Foods and you're purchasing some sort of a natural product because it says so on the label, and it likely at that point is going to have essential oils because these are the most perfected wisdom of plants that we could use to support our body's health. So let's say you're buying a product that has essential oils. What starts to come into question is, what is the quality of this actual essential oil in this product? And in a lot of these products, you're investing a lot of money for something more natural, just like it is in the food supply, right? If you've ever bought an organic fruit or vegetable, it's a little more expensive than a Happy Meal, right? Unfortunately, healthy things for us cost more because chemicals are super cheap, right? They're mass produced. And, not to say there's a conspiracy at work, but some of us would tend to believe that there are certain systems in place right now to actually keep us sick and unwell. And the actual skincare industry is not governed. So even if a company is saying that it uses essential oils in their product, you have to question, well, where did this essential oil come from? Where in the world did it grow? What are the quality standards that company has in place around essential oils? I mean, if Dollarama and Best Buy and Michaels and Staples and all these places are popping up with their own essential oils, it begs the question, right? So what you find when you transition to doTERRA's products, because for those of you that are new here, I work a lot with doTERRA essential oils. I integrated them into a lot of my coaching. I'm a presidential diamond leader in doTERRA, right? Which is just short form for really large movement taking place here. But I was drawn to doTERRA because of the commitment to quality and the sourcing that they do. And there is no other company doing this. So even if you're buying a healthier product that has essential oils in it, I mean, it absolutely should have essential oils in it. You cannot get more beautifying than rose in a beautiful base oil of coconut oil to apply as a serum to your face. It does not get better than that, right? However, you have to really look at these things. So if you're somebody who has an interest in actually having that glow, okay, not the kind of glow that you get by putting bronzers and highlighters on, but an actual glow that you wake up with every day, you're going to want to tune in. So I just want to give you the quick bit.ly link. We'll actually link up the Empowered Life. My assistant Jill has actually posted the link if you'd like to register. I have a shortened link for those of you. It's a bit.ly, so bit.ly/HF Skin Glow. Got it? It's free, and you should totally tune in. You will be obsessed with the information that you receive through this. The second piece I wanted to just share with you as we open up is I'm headed to Colorado next week. I'm going on a little mama-daughter date trip with my daughter, Chloe, and we're going to visit my brother who lives in Colorado Springs, and they're twin babies. And my brother and his wife, Danica, they have just started building doTERRA in Colorado Springs. So I just wanted to let you guys know, tag a friend if you know somebody who lives in Colorado Springs that isn't yet familiar with doTERRA or essential oils. I'm totally down with doing a community class while we're there. So we'll probably do one in their home. But if there's like a really cool juice bar or cafe or community space or something there in Colorado Springs, I am down to come and jam and educate on oils and natural living. So message me for sure. If you or somebody you know lives there, I'm going to be there a week Friday. So not this Friday, whatever that date would be. So the 17th, I'm gonna be there from the 17th until the 21st. Okay, so hit me up. Okay, are we ready for the question that prompted this topic today? And Jill, if I could have you post the form for those of you that want to submit a question or a topic for a future broadcast. Jill's my assistant, she's gonna post the link to the queue that we use to basically pull topics and questions from. And today I'm gonna focus on just this one question, okay? Because it is so common. It's a really common concern. And the simple question was, Ange, how often does your assistant work for you? And in what capacity does that person help you out with your business? Okay, so I like this question because truly managing time or managing ourselves is something I've been talking about for years. Like I told you guys, it's something I've genuinely been really obsessed with, only because I'm somebody who, I'm super intentional about the work that I do and about what I say yes to. And I know that if I'm saying yes to one thing, it means I'm saying no to a lot of other things. And I'm totally good with that. And I really upset people who do not have the best use of their time in place. I bother people. When I have people come to me with like demands on my time, they they come up against my fire really fast. Quality time is my love language. And when I feel like something is impinging on that, when I feel like it's not being respected, I look at it as an opportunity for me to get even clearer about my boundaries and about where I'm asking for help and about how intentional I'm living and communicating that, so that then that person at least knows that is them, not me, okay? So I am obsessed with this concept, and I've been guiding a lot of people in learning how to manage themselves better and ultimately their time. But this question that came from one of our viewers, the real question, the real heart behind this question is, how can I live within my genius zone, right? How can I live a life more fulfilled and more joy-filled? Because let's be real. I just want to tell you guys something. Living your best life is not about retiring at the age of 25. It's not a goal of like going to live on the beach and put your feet up for the rest of your life. Some people might be giving you the illusion that that is freedom, but it is not. A truly free and fulfilled life is one where you are living your purpose daily, where you are doing your most meaningful work on a consistent basis. It fills so many people's cups, but most importantly, your own. The goal is, I hope to never retire, ever, because when I am living my purpose and helping people in a very meaningful way, that is what matters. And a lot of that trickles back to myself. The more that you help people, the more you help yourself, right? So you have to really check in, what is the reason you're wanting to have a stronger grip on how you're spending your time? And if it is to be able to do your most meaningful work, I want you to stick around for the next 40 minutes, okay? So, asking for help for a lot of us, first, just to crack that open, it's not something a lot of us are raised to respect. I certainly wasn't raised in a home where my parents ingrained that message into me. And it's not that we even ever talked about it, but what I did learn growing up was that my mom and my dad were very busy people. There's not many moments I can recall growing up where my sweet mom was ever just doing one thing. I don't know how many of you can relate to this. And we learn a lot about how to respect ourselves and our time through our mothers. It is what it is. And I'm often checking in on this, and where my perception of this comes from, okay? So like I can remember sitting around the table eating dinner and my mom was always folding laundry or wiping a counter while we're eating dinner, right? It's little cues like that raised me with the impression that we have to do it all, or that our time needs to be split between a lot of things. And we're actually raised to believe that if we can't do it all on our own, that we're actually weak, right? It's like it's discouraged, or it's like you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough if you can't get her done on your own. Like this is, if it's not said in your home growing up, it definitely was a message for a lot of us. So instead of asking for help as we're growing up, we try to do everything ourselves. We think that is what it means to be a strong leader. But the truth is, leaders who are aware of their gifts, who are living consciously, who are connected to their purpose and growing daily, always ask for help because they know they're not meant to do it all. There's a couple of reasons asking for help is actually one of the most incredible things you could do in your business, okay? And just so you know, asking for help is like a ladder. You go through various stages, and I'm going to get to that in about 5 minutes, okay? So the 3 reasons you want to ask for help in your business: number 1, it helps you maintain a sense of focus and energy. It helps you be really clear. If you don't have 1,000 things on your list every day, then you're able to do those 2 to 3 things with high energy, with a vibrancy about the work you're doing, and you maintain your focus. Number 2, when you ask for help, you're actually creating opportunities for other people to share their gifts and talents, because we all are very gifted in other things. For example, we did a large business training for our team 2 weekends ago. And my gift is in creating a space for people, for leaders to come together and shine in their own gifts. Creating community is my gift. I'm very good at building a space and an environment that people want to truly be a part of. So knowing that that's my gift, something that bogs me down in creating that is that overwhelm that comes with all the details that go into creating an event like this. So my assistant, Jill, was working like full time alongside me, taking care of a lot of these details. Because guess what? My girl, Jill, she shines in details. She thinks of things that I wouldn't even think of to help create that. Because my core intention is to bring an energy, right? To bring a feeling to an event like that. And you're present, and I know that presence is what people come for, right? The presence of people committed to that. And so because of that, the daily question for me in scenarios like that, where I know I don't have a strength, is where else can I ask for help with this, right? Because I'm not meant to knock this out in every single area, right? So asking for help is important. But the third reason you'll want to ask for help is you build trust first with yourself and then with the person you're asking help for. Because you're basically saying to yourself, I am worth asking for help. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second, a little deeper. But also with the person you're actually asking help with, whether that is a coworker or an assistant or a friend or a family member. You're saying to people, you know what? I'm not Wonder Woman. I'm not superhuman. And I'm not perfect. And I'm wondering, I've noticed that you do this really well. I'm wondering if we could work together with our gifts. That is a really empowering conversation to have, okay? So the thing to understand when it comes to asking for help is you earn the right to basically ask for help through how you show up for yourself. So this is the biggest reason you're not asking for help right now, is because you're not sure that you're worth it, which basically means you're not sure that you can count on yourself to do the thing you said you were going to do once you get the help. Okay, do I need to say that again? You have to build trust with yourself first. And the reason you're not asking for help is because you're not quite sure yet that you can count on yourself to do the things you're saying you're going to do once you get the help. Because through history, you have unfortunately been letting yourself down. Trust begins with you first, okay? And like everything, this is why leadership is such an honor. To be in a role where you are a leader or respected as a leader, it's because you've gone first and you've honored yourself first. You have built that trust with you before you can do that with others. This is like, oof, this is so big, okay? And again, the most important way to build trust with yourself is to do the thing you said you were going to do yesterday, today. When you are clear on your priorities and what you need to do, you do the thing that you said you were going to do. Okay? Because the thing is, having more time and asking for help so we can have more time is not the answer to your productivity problem right now. Okay, because it's not about having more time, it's about producing what you said you were going to produce. And whether that takes you 15 hours or 1 hour, that's up to you. And that's really a focus issue at that point. But the goal here is to be somebody that produces using their gifts. Okay, so it doesn't matter how much time you have. And that's a common misconception about productivity or asking for help, is that you think it's about getting a lot of time back, okay? And it's not about that. I just want to read some of your comments as we go. A lot of you are really resonating with this message because you realize that in order to actually ask for the help, which is the focus of this broadcast today, it starts with you helping you first. I'm going to talk about that first rung of the ladder in just a moment, okay? Yeah, so a lot of you are feeling me here. You get that this is something that is unfortunately ingrained in us at an early age that we need to unpack and unlearn and understand especially if we are somebody who owns our own business. This is going to be a major block for you if you don't unpack this and understand what's happening and what's going to keep repeating for you if you don't identify this right now. Okay? So, one of the things I think of when I'm talking about this is why mothers, specifically mothers of young children, are creating so much success today for themselves and for their family. Why is that, you guys? Why would a mother with young children accomplish more in a day than the average person does in a week that doesn't have kids? You guys feeling me? What happens all of a sudden when a woman has a new baby? What is required of that woman suddenly that was never required before having a baby? Just reading your comments. They ask for help. Sometimes they do. Sometimes poor mamas fall into this trap of thinking they do have to do it all, and that village doesn't feel like it's there. Simone's kind of hitting it. Simone said they use their time more wisely, for sure. So yeah, okay, Natalie, thank you. Natalie Dick, she's a leader on our wellness team, new mama, she just nailed it. She said she does it during nap time. Watch out, world, when a woman has a 1 hour nap time to build her passion or her side hustle or whatever you want to call it. Like, watch out. That woman will do more in that hour than the average human does in a whole week, because that woman respects her time. She's clear on what she needs to get done, okay? And I'm not saying every time your baby naps, you're supposed to be building your business. Sometimes taking a nap or having a bath is like the best decision ever. But watch out when you have a woman who's super clear on her priorities and what needs to get done. She will rock that baby out. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like this, it's one of the best training grounds for being an entrepreneur is becoming a new mom. Yeah, Elizabeth said it. Nap time entrepreneurs, or nap time hustle, or whatever you want to call it, right? Okay, where am I in my notes? Okay, so just talking about productivity, when you are really clear on what you need to get done, it's not about having all the time in the world. It's about protecting your focus and asking for help when you know you need to. And there are things, you guys, that should never be on your list. If you're a list maker, great. That's a great, ritual to have for yourself, as long as it's not 25 items long for a whole day. I'll get to that in a moment. But there are things, you're on the cusp of asking for help when it's impossible for you to do even the top 3 things you want to do in a day. But there are things that should never be on the list. And you want to start with that concept before you look to outsource, okay? So know your gifts and know which gifts are not yours, okay? So if you're part of the 50% of people, or I'd say well over 50% of people, that think they don't have enough time, what you need to understand is that the people who don't say those words are just really great at managing themselves. They know themselves, they know their tendencies, they know when they can focus best, whether that's nap time or getting up at 5 a.m. before the rest of the house does. The most powerful person in the room today, if you're at, let's say you're at a party somewhere and you want to know who the most powerful person in the room is, it's the person that isn't talking about how busy they are. That's a sign of somebody who's actually not doing very well and is weak in leadership. The person who's the strongest leader in the room today is the one who looks you in the eye when you're talking to them. They're the one who's not looking down at their phone every 5 seconds trying to let the rest of the room know how busy they are. That is a poor management of themselves, and that's a leader that's not growing, okay? So, this brings us to the next topic of when you know it's time to ask for help, okay? So this, and this is what I mean when we talk about the village, and the topic of this broadcast was it takes a village to raise a vision. We talk about this with having kids, right? It takes a village to raise a child, which is so true. There's a lot of people involved. When you have a vision and a why for your business and the work that you want to do, It's going to take a team. Absolutely. You're not going to get there on your own. You're not going to go very far at all, actually, on your own. As skilled as you may be, you're going to hit a wall at some point. So I want to talk about the 5 stages of help that you're going to go through, specifically for those of you who are entrepreneurs, okay? Because if you're working for somebody else, it's pretty easy for you to compartmentalize your presence, your focus. If you work 9 to 5, you're probably not bringing your work home with you. But one of the biggest problems for entrepreneurs is really having that harmony throughout their life. And just quick news flash for you. Let's let go of the phrase work-life balance. It does not exist. What we really are seeking is a harmony between our work and our life, and being able to choose when and where and how we are giving our presence, okay? It's not about saying, you know, this is my work and this is my life, and they're not together. A lot of people live in that space, but if you're here and you're an entrepreneur, that's not you, okay? What your focus is living a joyful life, a fulfilled life, where everything is just kind of all in one. You know, one of the things that confuses me, for example, is when I see people have multiple Instagram accounts, as if they're like 3 different people, okay? This is just my perspective on branding. You are your brand. You are your business. If you're an entrepreneur, people want to know who you are before they ever decide to join you in something. So I wouldn't be separating your life into all these different segments. Live your business, live your brand, okay? So level 1, first rung of the ladder. I mentioned this about 5 minutes ago. You must earn your own trust first, okay? And you do this by doing what you said you were going to do, okay? Hi, Katie. So Katie said Tony Robbins calls it work-life integration. I love that. And I love me some Tony Robbins. Okay, so that level 1, I want that to land for you guys. Check in on this. How well are you doing in this area? How well can you count on you? Because if you cannot count on yourself to do the things you're saying you're going to do, why in the world would you ever ask for help? Because all that's going to mean is you're asking for help, and now you're going to sit with this time and be in distraction zone and probably spend, you know, if you're going to actually pay for help in your business, what a horrible thing to have happen that you're paying for help and then you end up browsing Facebook for 2 hours. Let that land. Are you doing the things that you are saying you're going to do right now before we ever go to the second rung of the ladder in asking for help, okay? So show yourself you're somebody that you can count on. And if you can't do that, you guys, you cannot be a business owner. You cannot be an entrepreneur. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to end up starting something. You might become a hopper. You might constantly bounce from opportunity to opportunity. But the real issue is you're not showing up for yourself. And there is no way anyone is ever going to be inspired by you and the work you're doing if you cannot even manage yourself. So this is like the most basic level of trust with yourself. Okay, level 2 of asking for help. You start by asking for help from those who love and support you, okay? Now, this might not be your spouse or your partner. Some of you are in that situation where you are at the point now where, okay, you really want to pour into something, a side project, side hustle, passion project, whatever you want to call it when you are starting your own business. But you might be feeling like right within the 4 walls of your home that you don't have that support. But that's okay, okay? That's okay, and that's common. It's common when you're starting something new, and just before starting that new thing, you've typically been somebody who has not stuck it out with something. You've taught people within your own home that you're distracted, okay? So you just have a little more work to do around this, and what that's going to involve is you getting up earlier or staying up later. I mean, I'm giving you some tough advice right now, but you have to teach people in your life that are closest to you that they can trust your vision. So if you don't have that yet, then you're going to need to be somebody that shows that over time. And you're going to need to wake up at 5 a.m. or stay up till 1 in the morning. And guess what? All of us who are successful have put in the time in that way. Okay. You often will not have that right away, but maybe you have a best friend or a cousin or a neighbor or somebody that you can trade some time with. And the idea of rung 2 of the asking for help ladder is that you probably don't have the money to invest in asking for help at this point, okay? So you're looking at where you can trade time or cash in a favor or just ask for help from somebody who loves and supports you, okay? So you're looking at what your current village looks like. And if you don't have it, you get out there and find it. I mean, the village today looks very different, but the soul of it is still there, right? So find your people, find a community where there are people that you could trade time with. One of the best examples of this is, let's say you have kids and you're needing 1 or 2 days a week where you can dedicate time to building your business. Trade time with another mom in the neighborhood who also has young kids. So maybe Mondays and Wednesdays, you get 3 hours in the afternoon after their nap. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you do the same for your neighbor. Maybe your neighbor actually becomes one of your business partners. You know what I mean? Like, get creative with people that are in the same boat with you so that you can do it together, okay? Post any questions you guys have as I'm going through these rungs, okay? Level 3 of the ladder of asking for help is, and this is a really important one, especially for those of you that have been building your business for like 3 to 6 months, okay? So you've been investing the time, you're starting to earn money. If you're in a fantastic business opportunity like network marketing, you're likely earning money right away as you're just starting. And this is, I mean, when I started WholeFit, I really didn't generate a profit for about 5 years. And this is typical for most business owners, anyone who's been an entrepreneur in the legit entrepreneur space, I guess, in the space where you're like launching a brand and it's you and you alone, and you know, you're trying to bring your vision to life. In that sort of a scenario, it's going to take like 5 years. But specifically for those of you that are in something like network marketing, you're earning right away. In fact, one of the reasons it attracts people is you get to earn while you learn. So you're not like going to school for 4 years, trying to figure out, you know, business management. You're out there just learning as you go, and you're earning money as you go. So it's pretty cool. But the rung 3 of asking for help here is, as you're starting to earn money, you invest half of that money away. You put half of those earnings away. Because again, for most of you, it's going to be like a side thing while you have your full-time job, or it's like an opportunity that comes to you while you're on maternity leave or whatever. Most people don't just quit something they've had full-time and start full-time doing their own business right away. That usually is not good business sense. So it's probably something you're doing in like the 5 a.m. hours or up till 1 in the morning, and you're starting to earn some money with it. Put half of it away. That money you're putting away, okay, is going to go back into either personal development or paying for help. Starting to outsource, okay, in areas where you know it's not your gift. And this is going to be different for all of you. For some of you, it's learning how to market yourself. For some of you, it's learning how to use social media. For some of you, it's paying somebody to build a website for you. For some of you, it's learning how to organize your time better. I mean, we all have these things. For some of you, it's public speaking. So you're investing in Toastmasters or something where you're developing in the skill of speaking to people because you know that's going to be a skill required. For some of you, it's sales training. I mean, it's different for everybody, but you all have something that you are going to actually bring to the work you do very well. That's not something you're going to need to outsource, because it's going to be something that you'll look forward to doing, that you'll gladly do, okay? So with this half of the income that you're putting away, you look at, where do I need to start getting help? And the belief at this level is this, okay? It's a really great sign when you are in a position to ask for help. When you're, you know, it's an indicator of how much you're respecting your own self, your own time, your own self-love. But it's also a great indicator of how well you are honoring your own gifts. And this is when the spin wheel of abundance begins, okay? So when you start to ask for help, when you start to honor your time better and honor your focus, and you only do the things that are really lighting you up, because that's where attraction is, the abundance wheel begins. And you're also creating an opportunity for somebody else to earn some side cash, helping you out, okay? Level 4. This is where the majority of people land and get stuck, okay? Level 4 of the asking for help ladder. Level 4 would be having boundaries in place to protect your focus, because you are close to the point of making a big life change, okay? Usually, right around level 4 is when you're getting ready to leave the full-time job, because what you have created in the early morning hours, in the late night hours, and in the pockets of time where you're investing in help, you have now created enough income and wealth that it has, you're getting the signs that it's time to leave the full-time job and go all in on your passion. So at this point, what the level 4 asking for help looks like is you're clear on how much money you're making per hour when you're all in on your meaningful work, okay? And just newsflash, when you're doing the work you're here to actually do, you will be recognized very abundantly in life. You will be one of the happiest, wealthiest persons in the world. You will eventually through your lifetime, because that is work that you will show up in at a higher level than anything else you could do, okay? So Simone asked me to repeat number 4. Number 4 of the asking for help rung is having protective boundaries in place. So protecting your time, protecting your focus, because you're about to go all in on your passion, okay? So you're clear about how much money you're earning per hour at that point, because that's going to help you make new decisions around how you ask for help and what you're saying no to, okay? So one of the principles that I personally live by is I'm not going to, basically, I'm not going to, do one thing if it costs me other things. And the most important, I'm clear now what is most important to me. So I say no to like 95% of things, you guys, because it often doesn't fit into what I know is my most important focus. And I'm gonna actually share with you what my week looks like and how clear I am on what these boundaries look like. This happened for me about 3 years ago, was when I was at like the level 4 level of help, okay? So the last level, when you have these protective boundaries in place, what it's going to lead to, when you're honoring your time and what you know you need to be doing, and the reason it's so important, you guys, like let's say you leave the full-time job and now you're working your passion, you need to figure out, okay, how many hours a week are you putting into that passion now? If you don't have this, full-time 9-to-5 distraction on your purpose, what does it look like now for you if you're pouring into your passion? I mean, I've had weeks, you guys, where I have worked 80 hours on my business and I've loved it. I've had weeks where I've worked 20 hours on my business and hated it because of the work I was actually doing, okay? So there's a difference between, it's not about how many hours you're working, but how fulfilled you are in the work, whether it's joy producing or not. So the reason this calculation is so important, for me now, like let's say for me, I work probably an average of 30 hours a week, okay, within my brand, within building doTERRA. That would be a max, to be honest. I mean, like I said, I've had weeks in the last couple of years where it's been a lot more than that, but on average, I pour into my brand and into my business and into my team usually between 9 and 3, okay, and I'll get to my weekly design in a moment. But this leads into the last rung of asking for help. By level 5, you guys, you are now tipping into 6 to 7 figure earnings, okay? You're in the top 1% earnings category in the entire world. It's very possible for any one of you, you will be here at level 5 within the next couple of years if you're truly honoring what I've talked about in the first couple of levels, okay? So everything, when you're somebody making 6 or 7 figures a year, you're measuring everything you do against a joy/fulfillment barometer, like everything, okay? So for me, as a 7-figure earner, as a 7-figure business owner, you can be absolutely sure at this point in my life that everything I do, every person I give my time to, every project I say yes to at this point is an absolute yes for me and a total cup filler. And it's also something I know is within the space of my most purposeful work, okay? So, and for me, from a financial standpoint, I know that if I'm saying yes to something, it needs to be at least an $800 an hour yes, okay? This is how real this starts to get. And this is why it's so important for you to understand how important it is to honor your time and your focus, because where it's eventually going to lead you is to the place of living your most purposeful life in everything you do. And it is a constant evolution, right? Like what I'm going to share with you in a few minutes, my week by design will be very different in a couple years because my vision will change. My clarity, my priorities, what I say yes to will continue to evolve as it feels good or not. So my motto really at this point in life is, where else can I ask for help? Where else can I empower other people within their own gifts so that I can stay more within mine? Okay. So would you guys like it if I shared with you what my week looks like at this point in life? Because for me, it's really about living intentionally, like I said. And I mean, we all start off a week with the same 168 hours or whatever it is. I guess if you sleep an average of 8 hours a night, what does that give us? Somebody do quick math. I don't know, probably gives us a little over 100 hours of waking time, okay? So when you think about that, when you wake up every Monday morning, you have about 100 hours to either say yes to your most intentional life, your purpose, or say yes to a lot of other people deciding that for you. That's what it is, straight up, for all of us, right? It's why a lot of people go into business for themselves. And I don't even actually like that statement, because it's not like you're in business for yourself. You're in business to serve at your highest level, okay? So this weekly routine I want to share with you is inspired by, okay, Jill says 112 waking hours, bonus 12 hours, there you go. So this weekly lifestyle design was inspired by an expert I love to watch in this productivity space. His name is Michael Hyatt. Okay, look him up. His last book, I think, is called Living Forward. But he talks a lot about designing your life and living with intention, and doing an exercise like this where you actually map out what would your most ideal week look like is really helpful for guiding you to be working towards that and constantly be measuring, is what you're giving your time to creating your best life, and if it's not, it's where on the ladder are you in asking for help, okay? So let me share this with you, and it's actually an image I have here in front of me. I'm going to post for you guys under the show notes of this broadcast on wholefit.com, okay? So I'll actually link that up. We'll post the photo for it also within this chat on the live Facebook feed after. If you're listening to this as the podcast version, just hop over to wholefit.com and look under the show notes, and I'll actually post my week by design. And you guys, okay, this is the whole point of this exercise, okay? When I look at this, it makes me so excited. It makes me so excited to wake up on a Monday morning and go rock this in a week, because it has hit everything important to me in my life through my work, my husband, my kids, my friends, my physical health, my emotional health. It's all here. And this to me is like my most perfect life right here. Now, like I said, this will change, but I'd encourage you all to do something like what I'm going to share with you for yourselves so that you can measure what you're doing against this North Star for yourself, okay? So here we go. Mondays for me. Monday is creation day, not consumption day. Okay, so Monday is like my, I'm off the stage on Mondays. Monday's where I prep a lot of how I'm going to show up in my business throughout the rest of the week. It's where I prep like this broadcast, and the reason I call that out clearly that I'm not consuming on Monday is that when I share my Sunday with you, you'll understand why I'm going into Monday super fresh and really awake. Okay. So I'm ready to create, and I do not want to consume. This is my first step in protecting my focus. Mondays, I will typically prepare using Evernote. I'll prepare a short list for my virtual assistant, Jill, who's on here right now. We use Evernote to communicate. So sometimes I might have a couple of bigger pieces as a monthly list, or just weekly quick things. And this might include going through ebooks and checking for spelling. It might include creating images. It might include show notes for the podcast. It might include responding to some things on social media for me. Mind you, there are certain things within my business that I don't like to actually task out that I love. I love creating. I love the marketing of it. I love creating my own images. I love relationship and community. So I don't like to give a lot of that out to somebody else, because I know what I love. Sometimes it's like brainstorming on ideas. And again, like I said, she's super skilled in the details and thinking of things that I might not think of. So, I kind of have a couple of concepts on a list for her. So that's my Monday, to be honest. I also have a house cleaner that comes to our house every Monday and does a nice deep clean of our house. I started that 3 years ago, where every week she comes, and that was really worth it for me. That was probably the first area that I started truly outsourcing as a business owner. I just started to realize, wow, I'm spending a lot of time changing the beds and doing the deep dusting and all that stuff, and it doesn't excite me to do that. Some people it does. That's why the green cleaner that I have come to our house once a week, that's her whole business and her passion and her love. So great. That was the first thing that I outsourced. On Tuesdays, this is my Tuesday, okay? I start off my Tuesday with knocking out my top 3 priorities first. I don't check email. I don't check text. I'm very hard to reach most days of the week if it's not something that was scheduled, okay? So top 3 priorities first. Then I do some network connections. That's when I might make some connections through email or Instagram, just, with people I've been talking to about whatever, oils, business, health, people that, are in my community, how I can serve people that way. That's on Tuesdays. In my afternoon on Tuesdays, and then also Thursdays, I'll get to that in a moment. Tuesday afternoon, I do 3 calls max, whether that's one-on-one calls or group calls, and those are scheduled through my call booking service called Schedulista. There's a lot of different ones out there, but again, what I'm getting at here is I don't just hop on the phone with somebody if they text me that morning. It's planned weeks out, okay? So again, I'm very hard to reach through the week. I never pick up my phone, ever, unless it's my husband, my parents, or my kids, ever, because that's a really clear way to understand where your priorities are. If you're somebody who picks up the phone every time someone calls, you're likely somebody who's living your life for somebody else or on their agenda, okay? Whew, this gets me fired up. Okay, awesome. Lindsay said this is so helpful. Great. And Lindsay, I know what rung of the ladder you're on because I know your leadership rank. So I'm glad this is landing for you. Okay, so, and then Tuesdays, I also have a house assistant that comes. She comes Tuesdays and Thursdays. I am not trying to do it all with flour on my forehead, okay? I need help in our home, and I'm not afraid to admit that to you guys. I pay somebody to come into our home on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and what she does on Tuesdays, she goes and picks up the groceries that I've ordered online. They're ready for her to pick up, and I order the groceries online because it's just like so efficient. It costs only $3 for them to bag them all up. And it's based off of the recipes I've inputted into my meal planning service called Plan to Eat. Okay. So the groceries, she goes and picks them up, brings them home, puts them away. She preps a couple days of meals based on recipes I've left out for her. I have all the laundry clean when she comes, and she folds it all because I hate folding laundry. Is anyone else with me? I like, unless I'm listening to a podcast and it's like white space time. I just hate folding laundry. So that's one thing I have on the list for her to do. She'll take my car out and get it washed and vacuumed because I love having a clean car. If my car is clean, my mind is clean. And she also prepares a delicious meal for us to sit around the table and have that night when the kids come home. Because one of my key things with the girls, we don't have them in anything at night through the week. We like to keep things super simple so that they have a really strong routine. I think that when I see a lot of things going on today, a lot of issues within the home can be fixed if we just get around the table more. And so because that's one of my priorities, I have someone help me with that. Because I don't have, if I can focus on my business from 9 to 3 and then be able to play with the kids when they come home from school and just be with them and not in the kitchen with my head down making meals, then it's worth it to me. So she preps that, she sets the table, kids come home, we hang, and then we sit around a table and eat. Wednesdays, as you guys know, we're here. Wednesdays is weekly broadcast day. Okay, that is the only thing on my calendar on Wednesdays. So I will often go in the sauna in the morning, and we have an infrared sauna in our home that we purchased a couple of years ago. I will often go in there and sit and just listen to my, spirit tunes or whatever, and prepare to be with you guys and to be able to be super present with you when I'm here with you. Okay. So that is the only thing really on my schedule. This is like my front stage day. This is when I'm on, right? So I don't want to have a lot going on in my schedule. And I do this with you. And then there's about 10 different things that happen after this broadcast. Upload to YouTube, upload to the website, download the MP3, edit it, add the music, upload it to iTunes, grab the show notes, get it all nice and concise so that it's something that if I'm saying yes to this, if, 2 years ago when I started this broadcast, it's something that I knew I wanted to do because I love community and I love to share what I learn. And, so this time with you is really important to me and I want to do it well and I want to do it consistently. I'm not going to I don't dabble. Okay. That's one of the reasons I'm successful in what I do is I don't just do something for like 2 months and then quit. Okay. So here I am. And this is like my full day is around this broadcast. And then once I upload it in the afternoon, I will often release or launch anything that I created on Monday. Okay, so Monday kind of begins the process for me. And then I release it out into the galaxy on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, we either like hang as a family, do something out. Sometimes we'll go to Chapters and read books and get coffees, or we'll do date night with the kids. Chris and I love to do this where like he'll take one, I'll take the other, and we'll just have one-on-one time with them. So we do that Wednesday nights. Thursday is very similar to my Tuesday. So Thursday I wake up, I do my top 3 priorities first. I do connections with my community, with my network, texting, email, get back to people, Tuesdays and Thursdays. One thing you'll notice here, I will sometimes take a week to respond to a text, to be totally honest with you. If you've ever texted me, you probably know that, because I actually have time set aside in my calendar for that. That's the reason. Because again, just because someone's texting me because they've got something on their agenda they need to get done doesn't mean it's on my agenda to get done. Okay, so you can teach people how to respect their own time by how you respect your time. Okay, are you guys loving this? This is like the what's the phrase I'm trying, this is like the holy grail of building a successful business. This topic is so important. And one of the things I often share, and I'll use doTERRA as an example. So there's ranks, right, that we build towards. I'd love to hear those of you that are on live, share in the chat, what rank are you currently at? What are you working towards? But we have these ranks that represent leadership upgrades. So like when you've basically really understood a certain level, you're ready to go to the next level, and that's often represented through a rank. So presidential diamond, right? There's about 40 presidential diamonds in doTERRA. Presidential diamond is kind of the pinnacle, like represents like you've made it. But some haven't because some hit presidential without truly honoring what we're talking about today. And they're really still like a premier with a presidential paycheck. Their life is like, they haven't honored their gifts. They're not doing their most fulfilling work. I know people at the level I'm at who live like this. Their life does not speak for their leadership and for their passions, okay? So, so cool. I see a lot of my friends on here. I didn't know you guys were on. A lot of you are in like the middle ranks, premier, silver, gold. Amazing. This is really good timing, this conversation, because the more you can understand this right now, the faster flow and abundance will come into your business. Jen, diamond. Jackie, platinum going diamond. Elite going premier. Awesome. Katie, silver. Silver working on blue diamond. Hello. That's like awesome. Awesome ramp up there. Simone going for silver. Carson is a gold going for platinum. Jennifer, silver going gold. Kari's gold going diamond. Hi, Kari. Kaylee going diamond. Yeah. Kaylee's on our team. Love it, girl. Jen, allowing elite. I love your choice of words there. Samantha's platinum going for diamond. Kayla's silver. A lot of you, I love this. Jill's going silver. Elizabeth's going gold. This is so good, you guys. Okay, and the reason I know not all of you listening to this right now, a lot of you might not even be using doTERRA oil, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. But the reason I love the business side of doTERRA is it brings out the best in us. It's a great measure of the personal work that we're doing and how deeply we're stepping into the leader we're here to be to help change the world. Like the more we change in our own home, the more we're able to impact that for others. So it just really represents so much, and I love to use it as a great indicator of that. Okay, I digress. Let me get back. So Thursdays, top 3 priorities. This is where I digressed, was when I said I don't answer texts right away, right? So I do this on Thursdays. And again, Thursday afternoon are call days. I'll do a max of 3 calls because I learned I'm no good to anybody if I'm doing more than 3 calls, okay? So that's when I will do one-on-one calls or group calls, and that's it, 3 calls max. And if my schedule's full, when someone tries to book a call, they're gonna have to wait till the next week. And the reason I do this, and I also, you guys, I have people fill in forms before we have a call, because I don't get on the phone with anyone anymore if they're not in action. I'm not for them, okay? Someone else is for them. I'm for the people that are in growth because I'm obsessed with growth. And I can't anymore. I just can't. I can't have conversations. It's not a good use of my time to be talking to people who aren't taking action and aren't in growth. So I don't do it. There are other coaches out there that they can talk to help them move through their walls and move through the blocks that they're having. So anyway, that's just my own personal where I'm at right now. Those are the kinds of calls I'm having. So like literally every call I'm having, every one of my 6 calls in a week is with somebody who's in growth, who's going to the next level in their business in that month. Now, Thursdays, I have my assistant back at the house, okay? Thursdays is typically when I'll have her prepare a lot of the packages and go to the post office. And she's also doing some meal prep because Thursdays is another night where we sit around the table and have a good, yummy meal. Friday is my open day. It's white space, it's blocked off. I don't take calls and I don't typically have anything too big happening on a Friday because I need a day that's more of a catch-all. I need a day where I can do more in-person meetings, appointments. This is where I'll meet people at Starbucks and bring the oils, talk business, talk life, errands, appointments. I'll often do a group workout on Fridays, like a hot yoga class or something with strength. And then Friday nights, we try to have date night. Chris's schedule changes every week as a firefighter. So he has 2 24-hour shifts a week, and then they change every week, right? So we don't really have like a weekend that's the same every week, but we try to have that time together, just him and I, once a week, and it's usually Friday nights. Saturday is my personal development in the morning. I'll often do like 3 hours while I'm puttering. I love to putter around my house. I love my house. I love being home. And so I'll often I'll crush like an audiobook every week on a Saturday morning. And it's often while I'm just doing stuff that doesn't really require too much attention. The girls, we pay a tutor to come over every Saturday. We play classical music in the background, and they will do some extra work on anything they're working on in school. And then Saturday afternoons, I typically go for a long run, and I have a weekly massage. And again, these are one of the things I'll tell you right now. The reason I'm able to do these things is because I also honor this for people in my life, okay? How I show up for myself is how I also show up for other people. So the reason I like do things like go for a long run or have a massage on Saturday is because I honor that in Chris too. I encourage him to take time for himself and take great care of himself. So when I need to do that, it's no big deal. It's no thing, right? We honor that in each other, and we're a team, you know? So we try to do that and respect that with each other. Okay, and then last day of the week, Sundays, right? My spiritual tune-up day. In the morning, I love going for brunch on Sundays, and I'll often spend a couple of hours in the kitchen doing a little bit of meal prep. We'll have a nice dinner Sunday nights, a longer dinner. We're often just like hanging in the kitchen on Sundays. And then at night, one of my favorite things to do on Sundays is to look at my upcoming week and ask myself, how excited am I right now about this? And if I'm not, time to make some changes. Okay. Now the 3 keys I want to leave you with this. My mornings are sacred. I don't check email or text or anything until my kids are out the door and happy. And this has been something I've had to grow in and learn in. You know, I've done things in the past where I'm up at 6 a.m. doing calls. I've just learned that that's not going to create my best day, my best life with my kids. I want to be all in with them in the morning so they go to school nourished and happy and feeling loved. And so for me, it's about protecting that time in the mornings. Key number 2, peak performance rituals when I enter my office. For me, it's super simple. It's having a lot of water in the morning. I'll have a liter at least in the morning of water. I have my bulletproof coffee. You can look that up another time. I'm not going to talk about that today. And I step into my office and I choose my oils and I choose my music. You'll notice when I do Insta stories, there is almost always music going on in our home because I love music. In the same way that I love the way oils can shift our focus and our vibration like that. So that's my performance ritual. When I step into my office, it's like, okay, let's do this, right? My last key for you is I have a closing ritual. When I'm done for the day in my office and I've given my full focus to my work, usually around 3 o'clock, I'm wrapping that up. And I review my top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Because again, I'm going to start off my day there. I'm not going to start off my day responding to everyone's emails. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. First thing, so I get clear on that. I clean my desk and I shut my computer down. And that's how I close out a day. There are nights where Chris and the kids end up going to bed and I'll stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning. I have nights like that because sometimes I do my best work, my best writing, my best creating when the house is asleep. So I'm okay with that, you know. But the point is I feel very in control of this and I don't let a lot get in the way of this. So there you have it. This is a long topic today. I'm not taking any other questions today. I'm just going to scroll through your comments. Katie said she loves the focus on self-care because how can you fill others' cups if your cup isn't filled? That's like, right? It's so basic. You cannot give someone else something you haven't given yourself yet. You just can't. Morgan said, when do you make time for your kids? My kids are my life. That is great, Morgan. And maybe your calling in this life is to do that. I am very clear on what the calling is on my life. And my kids are like the most important beings to me. So having said that, when I'm with my kids, you know, when they come home from school and I'm like with them, I'm with them. So while some parents might be out at the hockey rink and going to dance and music and all this stuff on their phones, juggling, driving everywhere, and they're with their kids, I'm at home with my kids. So whatever that looks like for each of you, you have to decide. And you have to decide what's okay. But I'll also tell you another thing. There's a lot more I'm here to give than just you know, being in my home with my kids. And I'm clear on that. And so it's okay, wherever this is for each of you, you have to know, like, what are you here to do? Emily just asked, how did you get so clear on your calling? I started paying really close attention to things that were not my calling. I think you start there and you move closer and closer. And everything I talked about today helps you in doing that. If you do not have boundaries around your time, if you are not somebody that you can depend on, okay, then you're never going to be clear on what your calling is, because you're just doing a whole lot of things that you probably aren't meant to do ever. And so the reason I think that I have spent the majority of my adult life in the health space, but also within the productivity space and how to manage your time well, is because I am obsessed with living my purpose. And that only gets clear if you have clear priorities in place and you honor your time. Okay. Good. I hope that this helped at least one of you. Because I know there's at least one of you here who are meant to do very big things in our world. You will constantly be given opportunities, and doors will open for you that allow you to expand in your abundance and in your freedom. This is why a lot of people choose a doTERRA business, because it honors that. For example, having the freedom to decide what you're doing with your time and to never have to worry about money really puts you in an optimal position to live your purpose, doesn't it? Because you just can't have excuses. Hey, Jen. Glyden, she said, I have a really hard time transitioning from work to family and my life. My mind is always on other things. Any recommendations on turning the mind off once a week? Yeah, so I kind of talked about this, but what's happening when you're feeling this is you probably have too many things on the list that shouldn't be on there. And I really think the whole topic today is actually speaking to that question, Jen. You know, when you feel like you're spread between all these things, you're at a point where you need some kind of help. But the most basic place to start is understanding what shouldn't you be doing ever again, okay? You start there and you grow from there. You stay consistent. You do the things that you know you're supposed to be doing and not the things you're not. For example, I know Jen's building a business. She's working towards silver this month in doTERRA. So when you're in a month where you're looking to grow to a new rank in your business, be obsessed with being such a great person of honoring your time and your focus. Ranking up is a really awesome month because you meet her. You meet the leader you're really here to be on some level in that month. You might not meet her again for a couple months after, but you pursue her. You pursue excellence in your work. And you become better with your time, better with your boundaries. It's an exercise in that. But you know what? It's just so easy to say, I'm so busy, I can't do this. That's like the cop-out, right? Don't be the person that says that. Be the person that is so clear on their priorities and what they're here to do, that you live that. You let your calendar speak that for you, you guys, okay? Okay. I gotta go shower now, like hot on this topic. All right, I hope you've been served in some way through this topic today. Like I've said many times, it is one of the most important, if not the most important thing to understand if you are in business, if you are a business owner. I mean, if not, just continue working for someone else and be okay with it. But if this topic excites you, if you love the idea of living your life by design and doing your most meaningful work, then stay in this topic and think about it every day. Okay. Thanks for joining live, and we'll get this uploaded to iTunes for those of you that prefer to listen that way. We'll see you guys next week.